is a compass and it points to fun. A sip of liquid sunshine melting in the sun. The crowd erupts.
Hey beautiful souls, welcome to Anlex TV where flavor meets soul. My name is Annie B, and in today's video we have two things going on. I know you read the caption and I know you saw the intro. We're making Jamaican Escovitch fish with a twist on the Escovitch sauce. Yes, so we're gonna have the crispy fried whole fish and we're using tilapia. It's already seasoned. I'll show you guys, don't worry, I'll show you guys how I cleaned it, seasoned it, all that good stuff. And then I have my already prepared vegetables for the Escovitch sauce. I'm gonna add a little twist to the Escovitch sauce because I feel like I make Escovitch fish a lot. And so I wanna jazz it up a little bit, okay? Then I have my sweet plantain here. And then our Bammy, and I'll get into what Bammy is, all right? And yeah, and then the second thing we have going on is we have a topic, how to spot red flags in your relationships. If you like good food, you like good conversation and good vibes, then this is the video for you, and I thank you for tuning in, all right? So grab a seat at the table, because around here, we go beyond the plate. All right, let's get into this cook. All right, so first and foremost, let me show you guys how I cleaned my fish. And I told you already, we have tilapia, red tilapia that I get from ShopRite for about $15 per pack. And these are nice sized fish. Now, the fish that you're gonna see that I cleaned was from yesterday, and I decided, oh, I have more fish. Let me do a video for you guys. So this is a new pack of fish, and I'm doing this again so that I can show you guys how I did it. I'm like, why didn't I record this for my peeps? Okay, so let me show you guys how I prepared my fish.
It's golden brown. Feel the rhythm shake the ground in this town. Sip by sip my worries start to sway. Rum and reggae keep the blues away. Rum and reggae under the moonlight glow. Feel the breeze while the good vibes flow. Raise your glass while the melodies play. Rum and reggae till the break of day.
All right, so my seasoning for the fish is salt, seasoning salt. Make sure your seasoning salt isn't too salty. Garlic powder, turmeric, ground ginger, and lastly, black pepper. You're gonna give that a mix, and then that is what we're gonna use to season our fish. After cleaning your fish, you want to pat it dry. This will help it fry properly. All right, and then when you're seasoning, you want to get in all those crevices. You want to get it in all the scoring that you've created. Get it in the inside. Get that seasoning everywhere. Season it well. Okay? Okay. Boom. Okay, and now let me show you guys how I prepared my Bammy and what Bammy is. All right, you guys, so this is the Bammy, B-A-M-I. Sometimes it's spelled B-A-M-M-Y. And I have it right now soaking in milk. Now, if you don't know, Bammy is a Jamaican flatbread made from cassava. So the cassava is grated, then made into these patties. So let's start frying up this fish. All right, so I have my oil on medium heat, and it's been bubbling up for some time now, all right? That's what you want. You want the oil to be hot so you can fry your fish properly. All right. So while our fish is frying, let's get into this topic a little bit, right? So we're talking about how to spot red flags in relationships. Because I think a lot of the times we see the red flags and we ignore it. I know there's been plenty of relationships I've been in where I've spotted the red flags. I felt it that something was off, whether it was at work, whether it was with my family, whether it's an intimate relationship, it really doesn't matter. All right, all these different points that we're gonna hit today can fall under any of those categories of relationship. It's not just about intimate relationships. You can spot red flags in anyone that is involved in your life. And it is important to spot it. It is also important on what you do after you spot it. Because like I said, a lot of us ignore it. I don't know, sometimes I think some of us just don't want to speak up for ourselves, or we start to lie to ourselves and say, oh, it's just me, it's not that bad. No, yes it is. And it can get worse. When you enable someone who is toxic towards you, you too are the problem, okay? And that's where I come in, where I talk about accountability. And we have to learn to take accountability for when we enable people to treat us poorly, all right? So let's get into these topics. So when we talk about spotting red flags, we're talking about picking up on people's patterns, their behaviors, and things of that nature. And you want to make sure that these patterns and behaviors, if you feel like there's potential harm, potential distress, potential manipulation, you got to pick up on that. And you got to sit down, talk to God, and reflect on what are you really experiencing, and what are you really willing to put up with. And do you love yourself enough to say, okay, I'm spotting these things, let me communicate. That's one. Lack of communication. That is a huge red flag. They will avoid honest communication. They shut down when you are trying to express yourself, right? I've been there. You're trying to have honest communication with someone, and before they make you feel seen and heard, they shut down. So now you don't feel seen, you don't feel heard, all right? You feel neglected within the conversation, and nothing gets anywhere, all right? They have a lack of communication, and they will avoid having honest communication with you. Let's check on this fish real quick. All right, the fish is doing what it needs to do. And we're gonna fry the fish for about 5 minutes per side. Have you ever been in a situation where you're talking to someone, you're trying to have honest communication, they shut down, and now you almost in a sense feel guilty for them shutting down, and now you're wondering if you expressing yourself is the problem? You are not doing anything wrong by expressing yourself, especially if you expressing yourself is not intentionally meant to harm them or offend them, then they are the problem, and how you respond to that will be the deciding factor of you're the problem and they're the problem, okay? How you respond to things, and if you enable that behavior, then you are, although you started off as the victim, now you are victimizing yourself by enabling that behavior, okay? 2, controlling behavior, all right? Someone monitoring your phone calls, monitoring your social media, monitoring what you wear, how you dress, how you put your makeup on, how you do your hair, where you go, where you don't go. They have these boundaries and limitations set for you and only you. No one should be monitoring you that much to where you're losing yourself in the control that they have for you. They're trying to control every single aspect of your life. It happens at work too. It's not just intimate relationships. And then some people will try to make decisions for you without your input. They've already made the decision, and then they're coming to you and letting you know, hey, this is what we're doing, or this is what you're doing, without first coming to you and asking you, hey, is this something that you will be okay with? 3, disrespect or criticism. Woo. They talk over you regularly. And let me add, I have been guilty of some of these things, right? When I didn't understand who I was, why I was angry, when I was too busy blaming my father for my anger, I was not taking accountability for how I treated people sometimes. And so me speaking about this isn't just, oh, this has been done to me, because yes, it has been done to me, but I've also been guilty of doing these things to people, unfortunately. And glory to God that God has been helping to build and mold my character so that I can spot when I'm being toxic myself. It's very important not just to notice red flags in people, but to notice red flags in yourself. So criticism, somebody constantly putting you down, even as jokes. I got that a lot at work. At work, I realize when people say little sly things and ha ha ha, key, but it's meant to really hurt you. They're criticizing you and they're trying to put you down because there's some kind of jealousy or intimidation they feel. So they feel it's necessary to put you down with little sly jokes and remarks. Pay attention to that. Let's see what's going on with this fish. We want it crispy, so now we're sticking to each other. Lord. Sure, we'll handle that. Let me know down in the comments if you like to eat whole fish. I absolutely love whole fish. I prefer it over fish fillet. Absolutely love whole fish. Okay, back over here. All right, so now I don't have to continue letting you guys know how, oh, this is my little drinky drink, don't mind me. All right. People ignoring or dismissing your opinions is something also very important to pay attention to. And mind you, that's why this isn't just about intimate relationships, because sometimes we let our family fly with being sly, okay? We see the red flags in our family, we see it with our coworkers, our friends, and we let it slide. We think, oh, it's not too bad. It's not. Yes, it is. Someone dismissing your opinions or your feelings, that is a problem. Your feelings and your opinions matter. Your input matters. And someone who is unwilling to allow you to express yourself, that is a huge problem, okay? 4, gaslighting. And I know people have been using this word a lot. You know, once the internet gets hold of a word, everybody just start using it. Sometimes they don't even really know what it means, but gaslighting, all right? And now this is when someone denies the things they've said or the things they've done, right? They make you question your reality. They make you question your feelings, right? They're like, you start to, am I wrong? Are they right? I remember things this way, but they're saying they didn't say this. They're saying they didn't do this. They're telling me that my feelings are invalid. They make you start doubting your perception of things, doubting your reality. Okay, that is what gaslighting is, all right? You got it. People do it so seamlessly. And that's why I always say acknowledging yourself and paying attention to yourself will better help you to notice red flags in other people. Pinpoint your flaws first. You know, in the part in the Bible, it says, you know, take the speck out of your eye first before you talk about the speck in somebody else's eye. That I feel like that's for more reason than one. Okay? Deal with what you got going on first, and trust me, you'll be better able to pinpoint and spot things in other people. But I think it starts with you first. It starts with self. Okay? 5, love bombing and fast commitment. Ooh, do I have a story time for y'all? Because I promise you, a lot of these red flags I noticed when I started chit-chatting with this guy online, who I was attracted to, might I say. This was last year. I obviously cut him off because he was doing a lot of things, and my spirit kept saying, Annie, no. I know it's been a minute. I know you're lonely. I know he has a lot of qualities that you like. You know you're spotting the manipulation. You know you are, okay? And listen, I listened to my gut. I felt like I passed the test. It really felt like that. We'll get into that because that's a story time. Right? Love bombing and early commitment. I want to buy you a house. Baby, we knew each other for 2 weeks. What do you mean? I could picture myself marrying you, I'm telling you, but you don't know me, and I don't know you. And it almost feels like, is this like what love at first sight feels like? No, it doesn't make sense. You should get to know somebody, even if it is love at first sight. Even if you feel like you met someone, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel all these great feelings for you. Get to know somebody. Get to understand your feelings for them. All right? Let's get into our sweet plantain. Let's start cutting this up while the fish is frying. Right? They want to start telling you they love you all early. Listen, when I say I experienced all of this, y'all, I was just like, am I bugging? Is it me? So I just was paying attention over time. I don't want to get too much into it because, like I said, I want to do a story time. Anyway, with our sweet plantain, you can't see it, so let's adjust my camera. Okay. You just want to cut off the ends. Cut along the back like so. And then peel the skin off like so. Very simple. Boom, boom, boom. All right, I'm gonna cut these at an angle. Check on my fish. All right, we're gonna cut these at an angle. So we're gonna cut these. And I love sweet plantain, and the sauce that I'm making is spicy. You guys know I love my spice. Mind you, you do not have to use the spices I'm using. Anyway, back to love bombing. They make promises early on. They talk about doing things too soon that doesn't make sense. It's like, what are you even talking about? We don't even know each other, okay? You gotta pay attention to people who start love bombing you too early. I actually can't stand that. Don't tell me you love me when you don't mean it, okay? Really, that really it irritates my soul when I realize that somebody's doing that, using the word love to manipulate me. Ooh, can't stand it. I think a lot of us have been there. Okay, next, 6, blame shifting and avoiding accountability. They know that they're the problem. They know that they've made a mistake, but instead of them taking accountability, they blame you for it. No, it's you. You made me do this. You ever watch them Lifetime movies or been in those relationships with someone? You made me do this. It's because of you why I react to you this way. Accountability is such an important thing, and I think while I've been single, I've been able to look at my past relationships. I've even invited people back. So like I already broke up with these people and I moved on, and then somewhere in my lonely life, I invited them back to teach me the same thing God already helped me learn the first time. I was like, well, I don't know if I learned it quite right yet. Invited them back into my life to learn the same things all over again. And sometimes we do that and it is a mistake. Thank God I learned what my flaws, and it's hot in here, y'all. It's hot as hell. Okay? Woo! Woo, it's getting hot outside, and so inside is getting nice and toasty. All right, so anyway, we have our plantains cut up. I'm not gonna use this burner though. So I'm gonna finish frying up the fish. And once the fish is all done fried up, then we'll switch this over there and then we'll fry the plantain, we'll fry the Bammy, and then we'll get the Escovitch sauce already and done. Okay, so back to blaming you. They love playing the victim in every scenario. They're the victim. Even when it's their fault, even when they did something to you, all of a sudden they're the victim. You are not the victim, sir, ma'am, at all. You caused this, and you need to take accountability for it. But their lack of being able to take accountability is a red flag, and so you have to pay attention to that. Wonder what she had on me to make it break my heart. That's my joint. I feel like it fits this situation too. All right. I'm using up all the containers, so let's set that to the side. Boom, bada boom, bada bing. Our Bammy. All right, guys, let you guys know what this is. It is cassava that has been grated and pressed into this. Cassava is a vegetable. Right, I love it. I love fried Bammy. It's so good. Soak it in your coconut milk or regular milk. I'm using my coconut milk for other things, so today I soaked it in regular milk. But traditionally, Jamaicans soak it in coconut milk, and I would tell you to do that instead, especially if you like coconut. All right, and we're just gonna cut these up into little triangles, or whatever. We're gonna cut it up like that. All right. All right. So that's blame shifting and taking accountability. I have my notes on the side too, because you come on camera. My alphabets be acting up. My ADHD be acting up. I need to have a list. Jealousy or possessiveness, and that is 7. And like I said, it's not just about intimate relationships. You have all type of people that can be jealous of you, and all type of people that can be possessive. There's friends that are too possessive of their friends. They don't want you hanging out with other people. They get jealous when you hang out with other people, and I find that to be really strange. Okay, but I get it at the same time. I've been jealous before. Y'all, one thing I want y'all to pay attention to, details are different for everybody. The details of everyone's life is different. But the feelings we have all felt. And so that is where our compassion can come from. No, maybe you didn't get jealous about that specific thing, but you understand the feeling of jealousy. Sometimes, like I've said in other videos, we like to live in a righteous bubble, so we pretend like we don't understand when really we do. Now, they want to accuse you of doing things for no reason. There's no pattern of anything. Your behavior is not that of someone who's trying to cheat or hide something. They're just accusing you. I feel like a lot of the times when it's like that, the person themselves are guilty of something, so they're accusing you. And some people like to treat you like property, like they own you. Businesses do that too. Bosses do that too. They act like they own you, your time, your energy. No one owns you. All right, we're going to take this fish out. You see how the fish is nice and golden brown? That is what we are looking for. That is what we are looking for, that nice golden brown. You can see the seasonings. Yes, 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 yes. That is what we want. But look at that, beautiful. Just gonna drain it well. As good as you can anyway. Boom. Yum, yum, yum. We'll move on to other things. Okay, let that do its thing again for about 8 to 10 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes per side. All right, 8. They have a history of toxic relationships and toxic behavior. I'm very big on watching crime shows, especially those in regards to relationships. I binge watch them, okay? And I like to do this as well as when I watch other people's videos. No matter what the video is, I pay attention to people's behavior. And I think it's in my background in psychology, my background in I was going to school for social work, although I was unable to finish. But my background in criminology, psychology, and social work. I love to pay attention to the behaviors of other people as well as the behavior of myself. And so sometimes people admit to things. They'll be like, yeah, this is my flaw, I have this problem, but they don't show you growth. There's no growth. There's no change in their behavior. They're admitting to it, yes. Like there's some people that be like, yeah, I cheated, but at least I told her I told him or her that I had anger issues. And that's not an excuse. I thought you telling me was because this is something you were working on. I didn't know you were telling me because you wanted to continue this behavior and I shut up. because that's what some people do. They admit it to you. They want you to be quiet about it. I already told you. So now when I show you this behavior, or I do this thing that I told you I do, don't say anything. No, obviously when you admit to a flaw, people would like to believe that you are working on that flaw, not that you want to continue being a toxic person, right? So you have to pay attention to not the fact that they were honest about this flaw that they have or this behavior that they have, but are they growing? Are they changing? Are they making positive change? Then you have people who badmouth their partners, their ex-partners all the time. Okay? All right, people who badmouth their partners and they don't take accountability. They're just always talking junk about their exes, but they never take accountability for themselves. Okay? Because it takes two to tango in every relationship. And if your partner was that bad, what were you doing? There had to be something you were doing. Okay? Okay. And it could be enabling, which I say is also toxic. Ooh, this one is a big one for me. Number 9, disregarding boundaries. OMG. When I set a boundary and someone does not respect it, it's just how dare you? How dare you not respect the boundary that I have set? That's why I like honest communication. Because when you communicate honestly about something, right? If you set a boundary honestly and someone doesn't respect it, that lets you know where you stand. They don't care. Okay? If I tell you I'm not a phone person and you keep calling me, that's because you have a disregard for my boundary. All right? That is just the truth. That's one of my boundaries. I really don't want people calling me too often, honestly. Yeah, sometimes when my phone rings, I almost cringe. It's a weird feeling that comes over me. No lie. There's a weird feeling that comes over me when people call me too much. I know everyone isn't like that. Some people love being on the phone. I, however, do not. But I do love chatting with people, though, through text, through email. I love email. I'm so old school. But anyway, they have a disregard for your boundaries. They don't like to hear no. They don't like when you set a limitation, but they'll push their limitations on you. Right? They'll put limitations on you, but they don't want you to set limitations and boundaries for yourself. That, things that make you happy and feel safe and secure. Then 10. Right? After this, we're going to finish up our cook, and then we're going to plate up. You actually start feeling worse around them. You get around them, and you just start feeling drained. You start feeling like something heavy is weighing down on you. Energy doesn't lie. Somebody could be smiling in your face, but your spirit don't take them. And you sit next to them, you're like, I know you coming off like you're this grand person, but there's something about you that just doesn't sit right with me. That's your spirit. That's your gut. That's your intuition. And you got to pay attention to that. How you feel around people. Your body speaks to you. The same way nature is, how it speaks to animals, and you can smell when rain is coming. Your body starts to feel different when it's raining. Some people bones ache. Your body speaks to you when there's an energy around you that you should not be around. Okay, so you just want to pay attention to these things. And now we're going to start getting into the rest of this cook. We're going to make this part very fast. Okay, let's get into it. Oh, don't forget in the comments, I want you to comment on these things. Let me know if you've noticed any of these 10 red flags and anyone that you've dealt with, whether it's family, friends, co-workers, partners. Let me know down in the comments. And also let me know how you have overcome dealing with people who have shown you these red flags. How have you gotten out of these relationships with these people? Are you still tied to them? And if you are, do you want to exit? Do you know why you stay? You don't have to tell me all of this. You don't have to write this in the comments. It'll be great if you do, because then we're all connecting and bonding through our truth, through our testimonies. But also, you can just sit back and discuss this with yourself, discuss this with God. But I do want to have some conversations down in the comments, so I do hope some of you open up, okay? All right, let's finish this cook. It's time to wrap things up. We're frying our Bammy. You want your Bammy to come out nice and crispy, all right? All the fish is done. I'm just showing you guys how beautiful the fish looks. Yum. So good. So good. And the Bammy, I believe I fried them for about maybe 5-6 minutes. It varies. Just pay attention to how brown it is and cook it to your likeness. I wanted mine a little golden brown and crispy, which for me is the perfect way to have it, because then I like to eat it with the fish and the onions, and it's just such a nice pairing. And then now we have the sweet plantain, also very nice because the sauce that I'm going to make is going to be spicy. So the sweet plantain kind of helps, balance things out a bit. I'm just frying that in the same oil as I fried the fish. You don't have to do that. You could set a pot with fresh new oil and do that, but I just fried it in the same oil. Okay, trying to save things over here. So now I've added my vegetables. I'm adding some minced garlic, some salt, black pepper, seasoning salt, ground ginger, and allspice. Now also what I have in here is onions, bell peppers of different colors, a variety of bell peppers, scallion, cilantro, thyme, yes, and scotch bonnet if I didn't say that already. And so the twist that I'm doing on this is traditionally we use vinegar in our Escovitch sauce. I don't have vinegar, so therefore I used lime juice, which I thought was, I think I like it better with the lime juice. Okay, let's get into that. Really go with the lime juice. Then I added a little bit of browning. I promise this was the best Escovitch sauce, and I know it's not traditionally Jamaican, but it was the best one I've made thus far. And then now we're going to plate up. I wanted something fresh because I have a lot of fried food, and so I set up a little salad for myself with lettuce and cucumber. And trust me when I tell you, this was such a delicious meal. Okay, we devoured this. The fish was seasoned perfectly. All the sides went very nicely with the fish and the Escovitch sauce. It was spicy. It was aromatic. It was earthy because of the allspice. And it had the zest because of the lime juice. It was just absolutely perfect meal. I think you guys would thoroughly enjoy this. And please let me know down in the comments if you would order this meal. Let me know if you would order this. All right, so wrapping this video up, I do want to share some tips for when you are dealing with, when you start to notice these red flags in people. Don't excuse it. Actions speak louder than words, and people's intentions matter. Don't excuse it. Keep a journal. Write down the patterns that you see. Keep your support system close, and get advice from people you trust. I love you guys. I thank you for tuning in again. Down in the comments, let's have a discussion about spotting red flags in relationships. Also, let me know if you would order this meal. Would you make this meal? I think you should. You won't regret it. Trust me when I tell you. I appreciate every single one of you. Life isn't easy, but if we all connect through God, through having compassion for one another, being kind towards one another on purpose, intentionally, then we can make the world a better place day by day, moment by moment. Love you all. God bless. And of course, peace.
Feel the rhythm shake the ground in this town. Sip by sip, my worries stop.